Greetings, humans. Welcome back to the studio again. I'm Ian, your host, and I just want to introduce you to my second favorite acoustic guitar, which is this Martin HD12-28. She is a beauty, and she sings gracefully, I must say. I've been into 12 strings ever since I got into Tom Petty and had more of knowledge from when I was a kid to how he got such a jangly sound. And most of the reason is because so many of his albums, especially with Jeffrey Lynne as producer, he had like a bed of 12-string and acoustic guitars underneath everything. So I owe it to Tom Petty that I got into the 12-string guitar in the first place, so rest in peace, Tom, and hope I do him some justice. We're going to play a lot of Petty with this thing because it just makes me want to when I play a 12-string. The Martin HD12 is actually similar to the HD28, the normal, where you have the rosewood back and sides, you have the herringbone inlay around the outside edges, still the same white binding, kind of a cream antique binding, bone nut and saddle, and the tuners are just a little different. They're not the new style or vintage style, if you will, the butterbean tuners. These are the Martin standard tuners because I think they have to fit them in between. I'd love to see it tricked out. There's one thing I could suggest. I'd love to see it with those butterbean style tuners with the open gear. I'm just not sure that they could stack on top of each other on a headstock of this size. That is my estimation of why they use the standard Martin tuner, which is just fine, but I do prefer the look of those old school style knobs. So anyways, the pickguard here is nice. It does have the bevel around it as well, which is really cool. It just makes it look nicer for the player. I mean, you're never going to notice that as an audience member, but when you get it up close, you're like, this seems a little more custom and tricked out. But let's get into some tones, okay? So, I mean, the big G chord, right? I think we could probably start with a little Supertramp because in a previous 12-string video I did on some Guilds, which were really good guitars too. This obviously commands a premium price. It's like Martin's flagship 12-string, other than maybe the Gilmore model, which came out and was very quickly off the market, with Sinker Mahogany, which is a really cool choice. I approve of that, David. I think Sinker Mahogany is the nicest wood that I've ever played. And Groon's guitars I had the opportunity to, but this rosewood is East Indian and it sounds beautiful. So let's check out a little, classic Supertramp. Give it a little bit here. So I did adjust the action so I can get that high D octave chord. Not bad. It sounds pretty good as far as intonation goes. One of my favorite bands that Tom Petty was a part of was this supergroup, the Traveling Wilburys, and I think they're very criminally undersung. When you think about the kind of songwriting that was going on there, they were just having like almost like a porch writing session together, the whole album. I think that's so cool. And one of my favorite songs is Handle with Care, so it goes. Definitely a nice acoustic song. One of my favorite Tom Petty is a very 12-stringy intro where it's you get the idea from that tune, I'm sure, the capabilities of the 12-string. As far as like arpeggiated stuff, or even finger pick. One of my favorite all-time songs is Peter Gabriel's Salisbury Hill. I've covered it on this channel, and this just, I love playing it on this guitar. So it gives you a nice idea, I think, of the 12-string capoed sound plus the finger pick tone. There aren't too many finger pick 12-string songs I can think of because it's very hard to do. To get each note, you really have to pull the flesh of your fingers across it and be accurate, and I'm not always the most accurate. There's also some great, 90s type of stuff, or even like late 80s, like REM, Soul Asylum was known, like Runaway Train, you know. Made up some of those lyrics, but you get the idea. It's a classic 12-string song. With regards to REM, this one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left behind. Simple. So that's another great, classic 12-string tune. When I think of the 12-string stuff too by Tom Petty, I'm thinking more along the lines of like his Into the Great Wide Open album. There's a ton of 12-string across the entire thing. Of course, like something like You're So Bad, like I say I love you, every day. Demo of that. I think it helps to hear a voice with it sometimes, just to see how at least a vocal can sit with the guitar. My vocal is way different than your own probably, but you get the idea. There's also, of course, one of my favorites, Into the Great Wide Open. It features kind of arpeggiations from Mike Campbell, one of my favorite guitar players, and then Tom comes back in with more of that classic big 12-string strum. I mean, it's one of my favorite 12-string moments is that epic strum. I don't know, there's just something so satisfying about it in the middle of that song. And we'll get to another one after this, but here's the arpeggiated parts. there. I hope you can. There's another great part of one of my favorite songs is Learning to Fly, and starts out, it's a really cool guitar line. You know, I think the lead guitar is actually doing something more like maybe even 12 stringy, but with a chorus pedal kind of on there to give it that 12 string effect. All the way in the background of this, where it's just going. So just with that full chord kind of demonstration, I hope you could hear the power of the instrument, you know. I always love those two big strums. I think of Tom Petty when I think of those big, you know, big orchestral cascading strums, you know. But you can hear in the back just of that whole, you know, chord progression. This is sitting on the bed of that whole song, just the... Everything else takes place on top of it, you know, to give it that that jangly, just uplifting kind of edge. And it's still my favorite, one of my favorite recordings Tom ever did. And it was always a shame to me, even though he played it really well like live, he kind of took it down a notch, just played with a single acoustic guitar, not even a 12 string at that point. Ben Mont's doing some stuff on piano, but nothing's better than the live versions when they had the full band incorporated and Mike Campbell's guitar solo soaring over the top. Can't beat it. Can't beat that. That's just a little opinion for you today. But anyhow, I mean, a little stairway, Shall I Dare? I think it's cool enough to do, you know. You all wanted to hear it, but also a little Over the Hills and Far Away, perhaps. You get the idea, a little Led Zepp there for you. You know, there's tons of great 12-string songs, and it definitely has more, I think, dynamics than I'm maybe giving it credit for with all my slam. And I definitely tend to be a heavy-handed strummer. So something like Dave Matthews' band, Where Are You Going, where it's like very subtle and very kind of soft and gingerly. You can still get it, you know, like, hold on. where I wanna be. Where are you going? So there you go, little arpeggiated sequences in there, plus full chords, and it just gives a good sense of the dynamics of the instrument. I hope I've done it justice. I can't really do too many leads, really. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and it's giving you a nice idea of how this beautiful beast sounds. If it sounds a little slappy to you, maybe because I did take the action down the person who had put a pickup in before I got here to own the instrument, had it pretty darn high and never shaved down the saddle, so I think I might have went a little too far. Although the action is beautiful, with my strumming hand, it might need to be up just a little bit, so I might have to cut a new saddle. But either way, the Martin HD12-28, she's a beaut.